And a lot of enjoyment came, but then I hit the wall again, and this time it's even more serious.
And a lot enjoyment came, but then I hit the wall again. But this time is more serious.
I had enough knowledge and skills that I learned from university to function well as a teacher. But then in life, I was so terrible. I look back at my life and I say, wait a minute, nowhere in your school and in your life has somebody taught you how to live a good life, how to stand up when you fall, how to behave well in society, and how to be a good person. Not to talk about how to become successful.
I have enough skills and knowledge to function well as a teacher. But when I'm looking back my life, my journey, um, no one in school in my life has taught me how to live a good life, how to behave to society, how to stand up when you fall, and how to become a good person, not to become a successful.
I didn't have a clue. And as many times I fell, I hit my head, bleeding, I could not find an answer at that time. So what I did, I observed the way people around me. How do they live? I started to pick up wrong ideas. I marched on, become very competitive, tried to work crazily, so to build up and compete for money, for material, for fame and position. And to some extent, I was
Um, Many times I failed and I couldn't find the answer. So what I did, I observed people around me, how do they live, and I started to pick up wrong ideas. I worked crazily to build up and compete for success, for money, for fame, for material and position.
successful. I got promoted at the university. But at the same time, I began my business and started to try to build up my own school. I worked crazily for about 5 years. And I felt so amazed by the achievement I've got during this time. But then in the year 2000,
I and finally I was successful because I get promoted in the university and I started to run my business to a school for myself and I work crazily for 5 years and I feel amazed. I feel amazing of achievement that I have got during this time.
2012, I began to hit the biggest wall in my life. I lost all sense of meaning about the reason for my existence in this life. I started to feel so tired and realized this is not the way you should lead your life. And I actually shared with nobody at that time because I put on myself the identity of somebody who is quite successful. And I didn't allow myself to plan or to complain and to reveal secrets about moments in your life that you feel so weak and you want somebody to share. So, no solution.
Um, at the year of 2012, I hit the biggest war in my life. I lost I lost all of sense of meaning uh, for the reason um, for my existing in this life. I started to feel tired to realize this is not what I should lead my life. And at that time, I share with nobody. because I put on myself a person who is quite successful, and I didn't allow myself to complain or to review serious about the moment that you were so weak and want someone to share.
Solution, actually, I decided to apply for the scholarship to go away, move away from my comfort zone. And the first 3 months in Australia for me was amazing. Remember the picture that she shows you? I felt like I escaped from the noisy life and the traffic to somewhere very quiet, very peaceful, when I have time and energy to contemplate and to think carefully about my life. And looking back at the time that I have tried for power, success, money, and position,
No solution. So I decided to apply for the scholarship. And the first 3 months in Australia to me was amazing. Um, I feel I escaped from a noisy life and traffic to somewhere very quiet and peaceful that I have time to um, that I have time and energy to think carefully about my life and looking back what I did for success, for material and position.
I would say, I don't claim this time because it has trained me to become so strong, like a warrior. But when I look at that and I say, wow, this was the most terrible, the darkest time of my life, if I look at how I experienced that. But thankfully to the experience, to the people that I've met in my life, back in Australia for 4 years, new ideas come. And the people I have met during this time have taught me so many lessons that I felt like I just been reborn one more time. That is the time when I actually begin to think more about the meaning of my life and why I'm here.
I don't blame for this time because it trained me become it trained me become a strong person like a warrior. And but when I look at it, I want to say it was the most terrible, the darkest time in my life. Um, when I remember um, this time, but thanks to the experience that I met, the people back for Australia for years, um, the people I have met in Australia have taught me many lessons. Um, I felt like I just being reborn one more time. And this is also the time when I started to think more about the meaning of my life. And so I'm here today.
I decided to come back to Vietnam after finishing, and things become so clear to me about what I want to do for my future. Now, when you started to see the light somewhere about how you are going to live your life, things become so easy. Every single decision I made since then, back in the year 2015, becomes so easy to me because I do understand who I am.
And I decided to back to Vietnam after finishing. And things become easily when you understand what you will do in the future, and when you see the light about what you want to do in the future, everything decision you make so clearly and easily.
And every decision I make, I'm able to justify and to explain clearly to the people around me.
And every decision I make, I'm able to justify and explain clearly to people around me.
And honestly sharing with you, in the past 5 years, I have made the biggest number of decisions in my life. I moved away from being someone who is more obedient to someone who can stand on my feet by myself. And a lot of the decisions I make so far seem to depart a little bit from the traditional values and what sometimes my parents want me to do. But now, because I understand me more, and I realize there's a lot of things that I need to challenge. Not that I don't show the respect to them, but I started to question the meaning for myself. And secretly, in the past few years, that they realize that I have lived my life to the full.
Sorry, can I listen again?
In 2015 becomes so easy to me because I do understand who I am. And every decision I make, I'm able to justify and to explain clearly to the people around me. And honestly sharing with you, in the past 5 years, I have made the biggest number of decisions in my life.
To be honest, I wanna share with you in the past 5 years, I have made biggest decisions in my life.
I moved away from being someone who is more obedient to someone who can stand on my feet by myself. And a lot of the decisions I make so far seem to depart a little bit from the traditional values and what sometimes my parents want me to do. But now,
I changed from to an obedient person to a person who can stand by my feet, can stand on my feet by myself, and most of decision I make um, depart a little bit from traditional values and sometimes my parents want me to do.
because I understand me more, and I realize there's a lot of things that I need to challenge. Not that I don't show the respect to them, but I started to question the meaning for myself. And secretly, in the past few years, that they realized that I have lived my life to the full. And I started to feel what is genuine happiness to people.
And in the past few years, they realized that I am living my life too full, and I want to help the other people to live meaningful.
So if you look back at my life journey, it's a snapshot into what I have been doing. You see deep down every step, every success that I have found. I started to realize that somebody laid the first step and bricks for you to step up. It can be your family members, your parents, it can be your teachers, it can be your friends. And if you observe enough, you started to realize that you should not feel proud of yourself too much every time you achieve something in life, because you are not alone. You have tried your best, of course. Then
Um, um,
I started to question the meaning for myself. And secretly, in the past few years, that they is genuine happiness to people. So if you look back at
if you look back my journey, you will realize that every step, every success that I have found, there is a present who always support and help us.
My life journey is a snapshot into what I have been doing. You see deep down every step, every success that I have found. I started to realize that somebody laid the first step and bricks for you to step friends. And if you observe enough, you see much every time you achieve something. Then underlying every step, the day I realized how grateful I should be to life. Life has become so beautiful. And
The day I realized how grateful I should to life, I feel life becomes beautifully and fulfillingly.
fulfilling. And 2 years ago, I began a new habit that every day I learned to practice. Thinking about how grateful I should be. Every day, 2 minutes at least, I would think about something or someone I have met happened to me in a day that I should.
Um, in the past 2 years, I began a new habit. I began a new habit. A practice. I um, I always practice how grateful I am, and um, to someone or something I have met in a day, I show my grateful.
Feel thankful for. And since then, I learned to be more humble. I learned to be more responsible. I learned to care more for other people. I stopped complaining and I enjoy almost every moment, everything I do in my life. And that is also the time when I started to realize the real happiness in your life actually.
Since that, I learned to be more humble. I learned to be more responsible, and stop complaining in sharing almost everything, every moment in my life. And
It doesn't come from the money. It doesn't come from the material that you have. Simply, it doesn't come only about your inner peace for yourself, but it comes from the feeling of sharing and helping other people and seeing that they achieve things in their life. And so, the words that I have come up for myself is the word devoted. And that would be.
and you will realize that the real happiness um, don't come the material. It doesn't come money that you have, or simply it doesn't only come in come from inner peace that you have, but it comes from the feeling of sharing and helping people to see what they achieve in their life.
The direction that I will continue to live my life in the future. You might have different understanding of what it means to be devoted, but the word that I want to say in Vietnamese is the word phụng sự. And that is only when you feel that it's your responsibility to help people and to make them better, and to see the people around you find their happiness and success. That is when you find that you really feel happy for yourself, and that a long-lasting happiness.
And the word I found for myself is devoted, and in Vietnamese we call it phụng sự. And if you understand the feeling of helping other people, you will find the real happiness, and it's a long-lasting happiness.
So, for the people here out there, if you are still struggling to find a way for yourself and you're hitting the walls like me in the past, I would kindly advise you to do this practice with me. Every day, learn to be grateful. And hopefully, you will see life so beautiful and meaningful to live. Thank you.
And to everyone here, if you still struggle with your life, you don't know what to do in the future, and you also hit the wall like me in the past, I kindly recommend you to practice this with me. And if you feel the big um, and if you can do that, you will feel um, our life is so beautiful and meaningful to live. Thank you.